Liz, this is fascinating information about epigenetics. But I want to know is, how do we as constellators actually use this information in working directly with our clients, whether we're working individually or in a group setting?
So, here's something fascinating, all right? Constellations is one of the very few methods that we have available to us today to actually determine where this came from. This person in front of us with this strange malaise, physical or emotional or whatever, we can set it up in a constellation and we'll know where it came from. So, what are we going to do with that besides do a constellation, something that we already know how to do? The good news about epigenetics, the environment can change those little switches, but if we change the environment from a trauma to something positive, then we change the switches. So one thing that's very exciting that I discovered is that a peak experience, okay, creates an epigenetic experience in the brain. So it creates new neuronal pathways in the brain. The brain gets bigger and better and smarter. And who knows better than a bunch of facilitators, constellators, about peak experiences? You've had it yourself. I know you have.
Yes.
And I certainly have. And you're different, you're changed, but it's an epigenetic change that you can then pass on down. And because it's biology, but not biology, we can give it to our family epigenetically, even though we are not passing it biologically.
So what you're saying is a feast can affect us epigenetically, a famine can affect us epigenetically, and so can a constellation session.
A constellation session can absolutely affect us in the here and now, but how cool is it to think that if we're changing for the better in this moment and we're passing it down to our progeny, that maybe those who come after us will be happier and healthier and less neurotic and more able to function beautifully instead of, some of us have carried some burdens. Anybody with an immigrant background, because that's not an easy thing to do, to leave the homeland and come to a foreign country and start all over again. We have it, you're telling me yourself, in this country we have it. All of a sudden, you're going to be leaving a place where you've lived for quite some time. You're going home. That's very exciting. But you're leaving this business that you've worked so hard to give birth to and to nourish and create. So there's a mixed blessing there. But all of those are going to create within you epigenetic changes. So if it's joyful for you to be going home, then the epigenetic changes are going to be good for you and for your people.
That's a really great way of putting it. I like that.